good morning, humans, other people on the planet. I want to say, I don't run. If I could put my face in it and thought it would be useful, I would, but I'm just gonna not do that. I want to say something because it to me seems so interestingly hard to get of a thing to say, but there's not as much to be able to really subjectively say about it or objective, whatever you want to say. There, I don't have any actual word, concept, or something to put it on. And with my friend I have, who, it is a man and a lady, we're having these conversations with one another. And I know, I know to some degree that it's not, and she says she's not a very emotional person. You know, people can tell you that and it can mean a lot of different shit. Everybody feels fucking emotions. If I make you feel bad or make you feel dumb by telling you something that makes you feel stupid, that's just retarded. There's a lot of different ways you could get the emotion out of somebody, even the most not emotionally anchored person. But I think it's more to the extreme end that I'm talking about. Because in my dreams, I was on like a giant bridge and I was going back and forth. It was like the bridge. I know the bridge. I know where it's at, so I'm familiar with what bridge it is. I think I could say the name of it even if I just pushed a little bit to, but I don't need to because that's not the point. That didn't really come into play. But it was that it was such a larger scale bridge, and all the shit that was going on it in my dream. I can't remember anything else other than to know that when after I wake up and I want to say good morning to someone else who was up way later than they should be, if they have the conditions of life I would somewhat expect a single mom to have. You're gonna let them sleep as much as you can, or not fuck with them. Also, which I also maybe would think would be like a given. Um, when I was getting like the attack dog version of her the day before, um, it didn't bother me to not message into it at all. I thought it was weird, and yeah, I used it to some degree to try to gauge something else because I wasn't talking to her, and I found it weird that she was at certain points, like in her own thinking, responding to something that there was no more response from me. That way, I actually started doing some other communicating, but she was talking about people, like, boundary issues, like boundaries. I'm like, what the fuck boundary? What do you mean? What boundaries are you? What did I do to you? What are you talking about? I didn't know where in the hell that came from at all, other than like not to mess with it. I don't. I got a response I didn't expect. I wasn't trying to say nothing fucked up to them. I'm still okay about it. And in the course of conversating about that, I found out better than I could even have anything else to say that I have been telling her the right thing, you know? And I was like, you're you're not able to hear half of what I say, and I'm not I'm not thinking like I've not communicated the right words. I'm like, you would be able to know what I'm saying and put down whatever you've got to back whack me with, and realize I'm not gonna fucking whack. I'm not gonna be trying to lure you and then a spring loaded fucking response. You know, I think it's because it's a woman, and I think she's smart, but I think she has enough reason to be a smart and woman to have trust issues. So, but there's this hyper aggression shit that seems a little much to me, and I could kind of finally having put down my own guard, which is harder for me, I think, to do that. And you know, if I didn't let some people in that I thought at first I wouldn't, for whatever reason, I wouldn't feel as such a good feeling about it being the right thing than I do now. And I do. But I didn't have anything. I'm like, I don't know if you don't get it or not. And I was like, but it's a lot. It takes a lot not to get um, a real reason. Like people that are paranoid and then never really let go of whatever they think. I think it's because like you have to be doing something equally worth the shit other than not attack them to help them along the way. It's like you do have to have this middle ground of similarity that in my dream when I was on this bridge, I'm like, well, here's the boundary. I mean, that would normally be a boundary too, you know? But the issue of crossing a boundary correctly, people are always going to be dealing with that. No matter who you know, when you meet people you have to go on, when you get to the end of your life and you're still dealing with people that you love and you first had in the first days of your life, you're still going to be on some sort of giant ass bridge if you didn't have a gate on it and have them on the other side, and there's no reason for that. So it's difficult to sort of express a lot of things that take just a little bit of our tools and the things our brain uses to work it out. It's the common stuff like that's a shoe, that's a cat, that's a tree. But more and more have I ever been like, people don't, they're always like, what do you mean? What does that mean? What are you trying to say? If you just got something to say it direct. So I'm like, I don't have something to say. I don't know why you would even be thinking that's what it is. It's like, if I'm, you know, I don't know how to say it, but a lot of people get not even like just confused. It's like they get mad. They cross confusion into mad as if you know something and you're withholding and trying to do mess with their mind. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm like, I'm not telling you to do anything or anything of the sort. There's nothing to tell you to do. Fuck. But and it's more than just the people that I know that are lean that direction. But this one did feel the best because I'm like, I was like, you're way too weaponized in all the wrong shit. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, look, I don't know other than what I feel I'm right about taking my own journey with, to tell you that you're wasting time you need with that. Because it's like, if I say something, it's like, this, if you could take it some sort of way, like weaponize it ahead of time and just go ahead and figure on her account that that's what she's going to think all the time. Well, that's what I got to do now, you know, which is okay. I mean, it does seem a bit extreme, but it does make a lot more sense now why that would be the case. And it's not, it's like completely flipped from what they told us in the beginning of my life about men and women and emotions and stuff like that. Because I would expect that somebody like a, I I don't know, with just emotions, you know that they're so powerful that you can be hit with them. And you have to have your whole life to see not to let that be your final thing, but put it back into everything you do because it's your power. It'll power you up and it's great. But I mean, don't dismiss yourself of the process of edit, check, and then um, critically think. The youth, our kids and their kids, are not learning critical thinking and not being taught it. Not in the same way. They've fucked us with the school system, and people are waking up to that. Of course, I mean that, but with my own like personal things that I experience and that I can feel good about, and that I can have little victories or not. Whatever fight requires from me to be the the war, spiritual warfare. Um, it happens. It happens, and it's good. But I don't I don't know how to actually share it the same way a lot of times because I don't want to fight demons when I don't need to, and it could be a personality problem. I don't want to empower the demonic realm, although I am aware of its existence. I'd rather learn a little more psychologically about how people's brains work and how that could be us all just making a little bit of a push forward as humans instead of it's a lot, it's so many things that are so nuanced to try to figure out a new way that it is. It's like this is the your morning, good morning. I'm like, man, this is weird. This is so fucking weird because it should. I wouldn't think it should be this way, but I'm happy. I'm happy to report that it's fine, and even further happy to report that some of the things that I think people think that they could know about each other, sadly, I am no longer even confused about it. I just have no greater or lesser thing to put it on. I feel like empaths do get a lot of people's emotional shit, and that's difficult. It is. But if you have to feel it and catalyze it, and you're the one that'll come out at the end, then it's got to be one of the better psychological fucking shadow work situations that you can actually have. Oh shit! Yeah. If I can continue this conversation and not put myself on camera after using the restroom, then I think I've said pretty much what I need to. I don't know how good about it I feel, but really you don't need nothing. You shouldn't. To, it's hard for people to get their armor off. And we're all armored in a lot of different ways because of things that happened in the past. And yes, you have to get through it and let go of it, but a lot of times just to let somebody in to a bigger, vaster space, and I feel like this person's on my side of the battle lines. I didn't get that until just now, and that's a real good feeling. That does feel like a real good victory to even have. To say as even as loosely as I'm saying it, you know. But it is a fight like that. It's like a very here's the thin fucking line you can't cross. In the world where I was at with the dreams, there was so much going on this just giant dirt bridge. It's just like a retardedly larger size bridge than was normal. That seems symbolically to represent just everybody's lives on this bridge, and they're like conducting it as you're on the bridge. You're on the bridge, and even my guides, they told me, like, the voices that you can hear, they said build bridges, not walls. And I'm like, well, either that's a weird fucking democratic mind control weapon, and I'm just picking up the frequency. I shouldn't take it too seriously. Or it's just good practice, and now I feel like it's just good practice. If you can be that person, be that person. But not everybody can. So I'm pretty sure some of you are.